This is the Turf Zone Podcast, your central information and news hub, bringing together professionals from turf associations across multiple states to share things to help you and your business. Brought to you in partnership with our friends at the New England Sports Turf Managers Association. Now, let's get in the zone.
Welcome to the Turf Zone. In this episode, we feature an article titled Case Study, Fraise Mowing for Weed Control on Athletic Fields, written by Tom Berry, CSFM, Sports Turf Manager, Greens Farms Academy, Westport, Connecticut. Introduction. Many schools are challenged to maintain safe, uniform, and healthy playing surfaces due to intense playing schedules and repeated traffic. Fraise mowing is a renovation practice that reinvigorates the turfgrass surface and can remove shallow-rooted weeds. Schools in towns or states that have banned pesticides on K-8 school grounds, such as in Connecticut, have had to readjust management practices. The use of fraise mowing can be an effective practice in an integrated weed management program for athletic fields, especially where herbicides are restricted or are not allowed. What is fraise mowing? Fraise mowing is an aggressive cultural practice that removes a thin layer of soil and organic matter from the playing surface. Henderson and Wallace, 2020. Fraise mowing machines can remove up to 2 inches of the turfgrass surface. It should be undertaken only under optimal turfgrass growing conditions. A fraise mowing event in coordination with aggressive overseeding and consistent irrigation can produce a uniform and dense playing surface within 4 to 8 weeks. The field must be removed from activity during the renovation process and grow in while the field is recovering. Fraise mowing can only be considered if alternate field space is available. Site conditions: silt, loam, overly compacted soils. Problem: high weed contamination, 70 to 80% of annual bluegrass or white clover on a heavily trafficked multi-purpose lacrosse, soccer, flag football, middle and high school athletic field at Greens Farms Academy. Goals: eliminate a high percentage of the shallow-rooted weeds, including annual bluegrass and white clover. Keep the desirable populations of turfgrass species, perennial ryegrass, and Kentucky bluegrass intact, improve soil aeration and drainage, have the field ready for use in late June, early July for summer lacrosse camps. Steps taken. Fraise mowing was performed on the field in mid-May after the conclusion of our spring sports season. We planned for the field to be out of play for 6 weeks to recover from the fraise mowing renovation process. The fraise mower was set to 1/2 inch depth to remove the majority of the shallow-rooted weeds, including annual bluegrass and white clover, while keeping the deeper-rooted and rhizomatous desirable grasses intact. Immediately after the fraise mow process, the field was solid tine aerated with 3/4 inch tines and overseeded with a combination of high-performing perennial ryegrass and Kentucky bluegrass cultivars to establish in the bare areas and to outcompete the germinating weeds. The fraise mower removes 2 inches of the turfgrass surface and debris is removed. We used a Redexum 1575 disc seeder in 2 directions with 2 pounds per 1,000 feet squared of Kentucky bluegrass, broadcast perennial ryegrass at 3 pounds per 1,000 feet squared, and dragged seed into aeration holes. Our grow-in fertility program included a starter fertilizer and a poultry manure product at seeding. Every 3 weeks post-germination, we sprayed the field with a wetting agent, light nitrogen application, and biostimulants. Once the overseeding process was completed, we top-dressed with a coarse athletic field sand to help improve soil texture and surface levels of the field, including improved drainage and root development and penetration. The field was irrigated with light, frequent irrigation until germination of both species occurred. After germination, the irrigation schedule was reduced and the duration of each irrigation event increased. Results: we had great success with reducing both annual bluegrass and white clover populations, but some annual bluegrass did recover about 10 to 15% following grow-in. We will continue to aerate and top dress with sand to improve drainage and promote deeper rooted grasses. Clipping removal will be performed when annual bluegrass and clover are in flower. We will also look to Fraise mow the field in the future every 3 to 5 years. What we learned: the timing of an early spring Fraise mow was not ideal due to the lack of thatch development, followed by intense summer annual grassy weed germination, crabgrass. Late summer, early fall is the best time to Fraise mow if an alternate field is available for sporting events. Also, we should have increased the amount of sand used when we top dressed to further improve drainage, basing fertility and other amendment decisions on soil test results. The additional sand would encourage deeper rooting of the desired turfgrass grasses while limiting the annual bluegrass and clover populations. Conclusion: Fraise mowing should be considered as a tool for weed management. It can be a useful part of a comprehensive cultural program to control weed species, especially on pesticide-free athletic fields. For all resources associated with this article, check out our show notes. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also visit us at theturfzone.com.
You've been listening to The Turf Zone. For more episodes of The Turf Zone, visit theturfzone.com and subscribe on Apple Podcast, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app.